Hello and welcome to lesson number 2 of the beginner's course. Now that we've learnt how chess works in lesson number 1, we can move on to material chess. Material chess is all about looking ahead, to see if you can win points or if you're going to lose points. At the end of this video, I will tell you a fun chess fact. Let the teaching begin. Capturing. We're going to start with a few capturing exercises. I want you to name all the captures possible in the position below, and how many points each capture is worth from bottom to top, left to right. We will do an example first so you can get the hang of it, and then you can try do it on your own. So here's the example. Look, you can pause the video to look at this position if you want. Try do it yourself. When we are writing down the captures, we need to make sure we include the check symbol. And here are the answers for the example. It's just an example. So the way it works, we're going to do it in the order, as I've said. We're going to name all the captures possible and how many points each capture is worth. And the order is from bottom to top, left to right. So we're going to do that the piece the rook can capture, then the piece the bishop can capture, the piece of the pawn can capture, the piece the knight can capture, so on. And the answers are rook takes a7 check, and then the 3 points is 1, where we're taking the bishop. Rook takes h4, 1 point. Bishop takes h7, which is 5 points. Bishop takes rook. Knight takes b5 check, which is 5 points. Knight takes e8 check, which is 3 points. King takes e2, which is 1 point. And bishop takes e3, which is 3 points. Those are all the captures in order with the points beside them. Now that I've done an example, you can try do the position by yourself. So pause the video to write down your answers, and do it exactly as I've done up there. Finished? Let's go through the answers. Okay, so the answers are bishop takes d5 check, wins 3 points. Rook takes b8 check, wins 9 points. Bishop takes g5, wins 1 point. Bishop takes a5, wins 1 point, sorry. Bishop takes g5, wins 1 point. Knight takes d4, wins 3 points. Knight takes d4, knight takes g3, wins 1 point, and knight takes h5 check, wins 5 points, and the last capture, g takes h5, wins 1 point. Capture and recapture. Now instead of just finding the capture, we have to find the recapture and say how many points you've won or lost, or if it's a swap. As the exercises are getting more complicated, we're going to draw a table to lay it out clearly. Here's an example. So in this example, find the captures in the same order as before. Oh, sorry, I'll give you a quick hint of what the captures are, and then ignore that bit. And you can try work. Here are the first two as an example. So the first capture is knight takes c5. That's plus 1 point. So first we've got the titles. So draw this table out on a piece of paper and put as the columns capture, plus points, recapture, minus points, results, and description. So the way I access the capture. So see all the available captures in the capture column. The first one is knight takes c5. We know that this wins us 1 point, which is a pawn. But there is a recapture d takes e5, which loses us the knight, which is worth 3 points. Overall, we lose 2 points, so this is, as the description says, a loss. And there are 3 descriptions: loss, swap, or game, and you can have plus points, minus points, or 0. And for the next capture, it's queen takes g6, win 9 points, h takes g6, lose 9 points, the result is 0 and it's a swap. Now try work out which the other captures are in order and how many points you result and the description by filling out the table. Pause the video to work out the answers. Finished? Let's check the answers. So these are the answers. Bishop takes a5, which you would win 3 points. Bishop takes a5 is a recapture, lose 3 points. The result is 0 and it's a swap. Then bishop takes e5, you win a point. F takes e5, you lose 3 points, and the result you lose 2 points, it's a loss. And then the last two, knight takes h5, you win 5 points. Queen takes h5, you lose 3 points. So you actually win 2 points, so it's a game. That'd be a good capture. And bishop takes e6 check, you win 5 points. and there is no recapture, so no minus points. The result is a straight plus 5 points, and that's the best move, as you win 5 points, and it's a game. So well done, you've got it all correct, but once we've used this process of finding out whether the capture is a gain, a loss, or a swap, you can take some of the columns out of the table. This is what the first capture would look like without the unneeded columns taken away. So the capture, knight takes c5. We don't need the plus points or the minus points, we can just do that part on our head, so we can just put the capture, the recapture, the result, -2, and the description, which is loss. So we can take away this column and this column, just this column. So that's not needed. Then in a real chess game, you'll have to even think this in your head. You have to think it all in your head. And it's not too hard once you get used to it. You can just go, oh, let me see, queen takes here, pawn takes back, it's swap. You can think that really quickly in a chess game when you don't have to write everything down, so don't worry. The next thing we're going to be doing is the safe move. The safe move is making sure that the piece you moved is safe and in its new square. We can work this out using another table. So this time we know all the moves. It's giving us a choice of moves, and this position it gives us a choice of moves, and we have to work out whether that move is safe. And safe means it cannot be taken at all, or it's not under attack at all. Safe enough means it can be captured or is under attack, but when you recapture, you'll have equal amount of points, or you'll win points. And not safe means that after capture and recapture, you lose points, or there might not even be a recapture, you just lose points straight away. So the way this works is the move f4, which is this pawn moving up here. You can make that move on a chessboard if you have it. The capture, g takes f4, this pawn takes. You lose a point, but the recapture, g takes f4, you win a point. That's one point to you. But the minus points comes from the capture because it's him capturing, and the plus points, it's you capturing, recapturing back. And because -1 +1, it leads to 0, and it's safe enough because although there have been captures, you haven't lost any points. And the next one, bishop a3, it's not under attack at all, no captures or recaptures or plus points or minus points, sorry for that. And 0, so it's safe, because it can't be taken at all. Try work out the last 4 moves. Pause the video and try work out the last 4 moves. Finished? Okay, let's check the answers. Oh, so, bishop takes b5, loses 3, knight b5 is the move. The capture your opponent could play as bishop takes b5, that could play, and you would lose 3 points, but then you could play c takes b5, win 3 points, result is 0, and it's safe enough. Move knight c8, black could play bishop takes c8, and you would lose 3 points, and there is no recapture, so in the end you'd lose 3 points, and it's not safe. Rook e4, knight takes e4, loses 5 points. Knight takes e4 is the recapture you could play, which you gain 3 points, but you don't gain enough to compensate for the points you lost, so you still lose 2 points and it's not safe. And rook takes e6. You actually capture a pawn in the move, so you win 1 point, but then knight takes e6 for black, you lose 5 points and you can't recapture. So in the end you just lose 4 because -5 + 1 is -4, and that is not safe. So hopefully you managed to get that. If not, don't worry, you can try work it out by yourself or just carry on. Like last time, we can shorten this thinking process and take the columns we don't need away from the table. So using the first move as an example, it would look like this. Move f4, capture g takes f4. Once again, we can take away minus points and plus points. So we just do that bit in our head. G takes f4, capture g takes f4, recapture. Result 0, we've automatically done -1 + 1, 0. And it's safe enough because, yeah. And then, in a real game, like I've said, you can't do the table, so it's good head practice to do it in your head. So now we're moving on to the safe threat. We're getting quite complicated now, as the safe threat is actually attacking moves. There are 3 types of attacks. These are the threat. This is when you're attacking something, and if you can move at that moment, you will win points. The attack. This is when you're attacking something, if you could move their points, you would only be able to swap or lose points. Not safe threat or attack. This is a threat or an attack, but your piece is not safe, and your opponent will take it and win points. To find out whether the move is a threat, an attack, or a not safe threat or attack, we will have to make another table. Okay, so looking at this position over here, this is the position this table is based on. So we still get given moves, and we have to find out whether it's a threat, an attack, or a not safe threat or attack. So, rook h1 check. The first thing we have to do is we have to think, is it safe, safe enough, or not safe? If it's not safe, we can straight away decide it's a not safe threat or attack, and we just abandon it and don't play that move. For next one, bishop g6 is the move, so the bishop goes here. So we work out that this is safe enough, because if the knight takes here and the knight takes back, it's 0 points, so this is safe enough, so we can carry on. First we do the capture if it was our move again. So the bishop would be threatening, bishop takes the rook here, which would win 5 points for us. The recapture of the rook takes e8, which loses 3 points, but we'd actually win 2 points from that, so that means it's a threat, because we'd win points if it was our move again, so it's a threat. Try and work out which of these moves are threat, attack, or not safe threat or attack by doing the same process on here. And remember, if the move is not safe, you just abandon the analysis. Pause the video and try work out the last 4 moves. Finished? Let's check the answers. So, bishop f5 is safe move, so the capture, or yours our move again, is bishop takes c8. We'd win 5 points. The recapture is rook takes c8. We'd lose 3 points, so we'd win 2 points again, and it's a threat. And the move d5 is safe enough. The move, the capture is d takes c6. If it was our move again, which would win us 3 points. There is no recapture, so in the end we just win 3 points, so it's a threat. Rook d e1, which means the rook on the d file goes to e1, it is rook d e1, because it could be either rook which goes there, but by rook d e1 it shows as the rook on d file going to e1. That move is safe enough because rook takes, it's even points. Sorry. And then the threat is rook takes e8, so that would be plus 5 points. The recapture, the rook takes d8, minus 5 points. The result is 0, and because we haven't won anything, it's not a threat, it's just an attack. And then a3, a pawn here is safe enough because b takes a3, king takes a3, and no points are lost. The capture is a takes b4, you win a point. The recapture is a takes b4, you lose a point. The result is 0, so therefore it's an attack. Did you get all the answers right? If not, don't worry. You can try again if you want, or just carry on with the video. And now that we've worked out how it works, we can take some columns away from the table. If we were to draw the table without the unnecessary columns, the second move, so the bishop g6 move, would look like this. The move bishop g6, we don't need safe enough, not safe, we can work it out in our head. And if it's not safe, we just stop the analysis. We don't need plus points or minus points, we just go capture, recapture, result, we automatically can work out +2, and it's a threat. Now, the only problem with this is it says if it was your move straight away, which gives your opponent 1 move to stop your threat. This is how to meet a threat and stop it from happening. So, however, even if there is a threat, you have 1 move to stop it. You can stop a threat using MCSB, which stands for the 4 different ways to stop a threat. These are M. Move the piece in danger to a place where it is safe or safe enough. C. Capture the piece attacking your piece with a piece of the same or lower value. S. Support the attacked piece. This only works if the piece attacking you is worth the same or more than your attacked piece. B. Block the way from the attacking piece and the attacked piece, but make sure your move is safe enough. So these could sound slightly complicated, but they're not actually. Block is basically block the line, so move your bishop here or something to stop the bishop from getting there. And yeah, so we're going to do an example on this position. We're going to draw a table. It's black to move to save his knight from being taken by this bishop. Sorry about that. Let's just carry on. So we're saving black's knight on d7 from being taken by the bishop on h3. So the moves he could play is he can move his knight to b8, or he can move his knight to f6, or the other knight moves. Well, there's only one other knight move, and two others are not safe. So those are the only two safe or safe enough knight moves. There are no captures. The bishop here is not able to be captured. There are a lot of supports, however. We can move this rook to here to support it. We can move this rook here to support it. We can move this bishop over here or over here. We can move the queen over here, or we can move the queen over here. So there's a lot of ways to support the knight. But if, for example, the knight was a rook being attacked... Sorry about that. Can't stop coughing today for some reason. But if the knight, for example, was a rook being attacked, then we wouldn't be able to support it at all because he just win points because the rook is worth more than the bishop. And there is only one way to block it, which is bishop e6. And notice that bishop e6 is included twice, as both blocks the knight and also supports the knight. So that's quite interesting. You can try the next position on your own. Just pause the video to find out all the moves, captures, supports, and blocks to save its white to move and his bishop at e4 is being attacked by the knight. Find out all the move, capture, support, and block to stop this. And remember, you can't block a knight. Finished? Let's check the answers. It's an interesting fact that you can't block a knight, which makes them good at threatening things when you aren't many left, which shows that there are no blocks. You can't block a knight. But let's look at all the rest. So the moves, you could move your bishop either to d1, c2, or d3. Those are the only safe or safe enough moves. You could capture the knight with your bishop. Bishop takes f6, that's safe enough. You could support the bishop with queen to b1, queen to c2, queen to d3, queen to e1, queen to e2, or rook to e1, or knight to d2. So a lot of supports, but once again, if this was a rook being attacked, none of those supports would work because black would win points anyway. And you can't block a knight, so there is no blocks. Okay, well done for getting to the end of this material course. Now that you know what to do with your pieces, you can head over to Beginner to Winner Part 3 to learn about sneaky ways to surprise your opponent using UFOs. If you didn't understand something, feel free to go back in this video and rewatch it. Thank you for listening. Follow the link in the description for Part 3. But first, I'm going to show you a fun chess fact. The longest ever chess game between chess masters lasted 269 moves and over 20 hours. The game was played between Ivan Nikolic and Goran Arasovich in 1989. But don't worry, your games won't be nearly that long, probably lasting about 10 minutes to half an hour. So make sure you head over to Part 3 of this course from Beginner to Winner to learn about sneaky ways to surprise your opponent using UFOs. Thank you for listening and see you in Part 3.